In large animation studios, where whole crews of artists work on films, one of the broadest and most complex occupations is the directors. The director is considered the main person responsible for making key creative solutions in the film. Because of this, when a film receives an award or accolades, it is signed by the director. The director's main task is actually making the storyboard. The storyboard is a detailed plan of the film. It contains every shot of the film, drawn and explained in detail. The storyboard that we will be making will look something like this. Spoken lines are the first column, the description of the action is in the second, and a drawing of the shot is in the third. The director's task is to tell a story in the most interesting way they can. For example, it is not arbitrary whether we will show a character crying from far away or in a close-up, or maybe complement all the emotions with a shot of a landscape with an overcast sky. Sometimes a shot looking down from the back of a character can showcase their loneliness. Or maybe it is better a solution to not even see their character, but to hear them through a window. These are dilemmas that a director tangles with, and the aforementioned examples are their various directional solutions. Oftentimes, a director will decide to splice a few different shots so that we can see both their face of a character and their surroundings with the storm that is approaching. The director, in truth, needs to know how to pick out and show all the details that are important to the story. Also, they must think of interesting ways to show something boring or mundane. Through all of that, he uses sound, music, camera angles, symbols, movement of characters in camera, color, different shot lengths, and so on. Some of the directional solutions and shot types that are often used in animated filmmaking are as follows. Presentation of story location, wide and close-up shots, camera movement, over-exaggeration, over-the-shoulder shot, point-of-the-view shot, transitions, detail shot, low and high angle shot, zoom in and zoom out. In order to understand the meaning of all these points, I will show you how I use them in two of my films, Vicious Snowman and Cat and the Rat. You can watch these films in full through a link in the description. We'll start with The Vicious Snowman. The film starts with the title. It's always good to play around with it because an interesting title promises an interesting film. The first thing on the list is the presentation of the story location. We always do this using landscape. We usually put it in the beginning of the film so that it is clear from the get-go where the story takes place. This information will help us to create a certain atmosphere to our film. Here, I give the audience two important pieces of info. We are on a mountain. It is a quiet winter morning. Now we have a distance shot. It is far away so that we can easily see everything that is happening on this field. In film direction, there are wide and close shots. This wide shot will help us with ambient consideration. A closer shot, known as a middle shot, is usually used to show movement of a specific character. An even closer one is used when a character is speaking. It shows both the face and some body movement clearly. A close-up shot is usually used to show someone's emotions. You can read more about these on Wikipedia. Camera movement is always interesting and is often used in films. You should know that it can be tricky to do in some animation techniques, so if you want to use it in your film, try to do it immediately. And that way, you will know if it is possible to do or not. Here I have made an illusion of camera movement using lines moving upwards. This jump and the way the kids are making the snowman are examples of over-exaggeration. This move would be impossible in reality. I made it in this way because the process of making a snowman is long and irrelevant for the movie. In addition, over-exaggeration gives a certain charm to the film and should be used as much as possible. Great examples of this can be found in cartoons such as Roadrunner, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, and similar. Over-exaggeration is used in a comedic way here, and also puts emphasis on some important moments, and simply in the name of entertainment and dynamicism. This type of shot is called over-the-shoulder shot. It's recognized by a character or an item very close to the camera, so it looks like they cut a piece of the film track. It is often used in dialogues, and the camera is behind the back of one of the characters. This is another cut shot from the end of the movie. The most famous cut shots are found in cowboy films. It is important to make the audience relate to the characters, and that is why we often choose to show the story from their perspective. This is called a point-of-view shot. Here we are seeing with the snowman's eyes. Low-angle shot means that the camera is looking upwards from a low position. Just like in this scene, this makes the character look bigger than normal, more powerful. In film direction, a high-angle shot is also used when we look at a character from above. This makes them look short, weak, and smaller than the world surrounding them. In movies, a normal cut is often used when we simply transition from one shot to another. However, it is always interesting to add a few transitions. It's a more creative and interesting way of moving to the next scene, and here's an example of how to do that. This is a shot from my film Cat and Rat. The bird covers the frame, and when we see the next scene, here's another transition. Go check out the movie in the description, you will see more transitions there. This type of shot, also from Cat and Rat, is called a detail shot. We can only see part of the body or an object from very close vicinity. Oftentimes, when a scene is particularly tense, we will only see a character's eyes, or maybe a fist. Zoom in and zoom out are usually used when we are introducing the viewers into a particular space, or if we want to turn their attention to someone's internal moments. Before you make the final storyboard, you should make a draft of it. It's used for planning. You don't have to make drawings look pretty, and the characters can also just be stickmen. The table you're going to use should be on the ordinary piece of paper, with 16 fields, split with 3 lines by length and 3 lines by width. Draw the lines with an ink pen, and the rest using an ordinary pencil, so you can always change and edit the drawings for text. For now, this is only readable for a director, because it does not contain enough explanation for every detail. You can find the first draft of the Cat and the Rat storyboard in the link in the description. This is a storyboard for the film The Vicious Snowman. I have not made the final draft of the storyboard for this one. This is because the film is very simple, with no dialogue or narration. Also, it was a solo project, so the storyboards didn't have to be readable to anyone else. You can find it in the description as well. Once you've planned out all the scenes in the first draft, you can start working on the final storyboard. Draw a table like this, or download a template from the description and print out 10 copies. Like I've said before, write the lines that are going to be heard in the movie in the first field. Those are narrations and dialogue. In the second, write a detailed explanation of the actions in the shot, and draw the shot in the third of the field. Number each page of the storyboard. In the fields with drawings, you can use arrows that show the movement of the characters and the camera. When we are making a movie as a team, it is important for the storyboard to be legible without additional explanations from the director. Your task is to watch the movies from the description. Try to find more solutions and shot types from this table. You can do that with our animated films on YouTube as well. Watch and read the storyboard of the film Cat and Rat. You can find the storyboard for my film in the description as well. This should be put in order. I probably don't need to tell you that your last task is making your own storyboard.